Plaintiff Benita Josie is a music performer who has worked with artists all over the Detroit area. Benita claims she paid the defendant to use his studio, but the studio wasn't up to par and the equipment was outdated, so she's suing to get her money back. Defendant Richard Epperson says Benita paid him $100 to use his studio for 8 hours, and there were no problems with the studio, nor did she make any complaints. Richard is countersuing for harassment and defamation of character.
All right, start with you.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
I am a music artist, entertainer. I go by the name of Josie Dope. I started working with Ray in 2005. I had a manager that was like sponsoring me.
What did you do before that? And before coming to him?
I've worked with other people in Detroit, like
From Detroit? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I worked with other major artists from Detroit, and I was on the come up before I started working with
What
him.
major artists?
Tone Tone, Black Lagoon, Mike Phenom, D12. I've opened up for Plies at the Zoo Bar downtown Detroit before it was Legends. I've been doing a lot of stuff.
All those names I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And they are very accomplished.
I worked with other major artists from Detroit, and I was on the come up before I started working with
What
him.
major artists?
Tone Tone, Black Lagoon. I've opened up for Plies at the Zoo Bar downtown Detroit before it was Legends. I've been doing a lot of stuff.
All those names I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And they are very accomplished.
Plaintiff Benita Josie paid the defendant to use his studio, but she claims the studio was subpar and the equipment was outdated, so she wants her money back.
Go ahead.
So
That was your experience. And
Yes, that was my experience. And then I met Ray through some other friends, mutual artists, and I started paying him myself in 2015.
To do what?
To produce my music.
Okay. How many songs?
Over the course of time, we probably did about 20 songs.
Tell me the agreement that you all began. When you first began, what did you all agree to?
Okay.
Money and songs.
We agreed to studio time. So he's worked at various studios.
You didn't agree to a number of songs he was to produce?
No.
Just studio time was the agreement.
I pay him for studio
For the
time.
Studio. All right. Let me hear from you, sir, regarding the agreement first. Let's start there.
Okay, there was no agreement. She just wanted to come and do some studio time, and she came, and I gave her great deals, and that's why she kept coming.
What do you mean by great deals?
Well, you know, one time she got 8 hours for $100. It was because I was actually fundraising to buy a building.
You charged her $100?
I charged her $100. She came there, and she tried to get as much as she could out within that 8 hours.
Well, let me just tell you, that's called an agreement.
That's the studio time, 8 hours for $100.
Yeah, agreement.
Right, I see what you're saying.
So you did have an agreement.
An agreement for 8 hours for $100.
There you go. And you fulfilled that obligation?
Yeah,
Sounds like she's just saying she's unsatisfied with it, but
well, yeah.
Was it to produce the songs or give her studio time?
So what happened was everyone knows I make great beats. So she knew that she was going to, I told her I'll
Who
make.
have you made something for? She told me who she worked with.
Yeah, I've made plenty of songs for her.
Tell me who.
Yeah, well, I mean.
artists, anybody
okay,
that
Bodie
might
James.
know. Who?
You know, Bodie James just got signed with Nas.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I've produced for him. I've produced for Big Herc. Who else have I did music for in the city? I've done a lot of video as well for a lot of famous people as well. Just got done interviewing Ice Cube about like a month ago.
Okay.
Yep. So she came around, you know, trying to do the music. You know, she enjoyed my production style clearly and my quality. She released it on iTunes without us doing any contract, any paperwork. And she just basically did it all on a, you know, I'm going to take care of you later on kind of thing, which I was not happy about.
Take care of you later on for doing what?
For the beats, because, you know, I still own the beats as they're my property.
And you were hired to do the beats.
Yeah, you know, we're hired to do the recording time, yes.
No, the beats.
No, just the studio time. 8 hours for $100.
So you were doing the beats for free.
Right, exactly. In hopes of possibly blowing up.
Okay, ma'am.
That's the truth.
That he was doing the beats
tracks
for free.
Yes, he was doing the beats for free.
All right, and the $100 per 8 hours was for studio time.
I was paying him for his production time.
So why are you suing him?
His quality is very low.
Quality of
the production.
using his studio?
The studio, he had one time his studio went down when he had his girlfriend actually in our session. His studio went down for about 2 hours. He had to reboot his computer. His computer is like wide open, broken. It's just so much rinky dinkness.
When
His
did you
dog is
find
like
that out?
barking outside.
A month ago.
A month, what he said, a
No,
month ago.
the first day you went in?
Yes.
The
I
first
worked
day you went in?
No, not the first day I worked with him.
How many days?
Because he worked at
How
different,
many
over the
days
years.
after starting there did you discover the flaws?
Oh, it was one time only. Once we had a falling out
Okay,
after
so
this
just
incident.
once.
No, he's done wrong by me prior too.
Regarding
but in
the
this
studio time. That's all we're here for, remember?
Yeah.
We're dealing with the $100 for 8 hours. That's why I went to, was the studio, because that's all you were paying
Not up
for
to
is
par.
access to the studio. Was it up to par?
No.
You said only once. Out of all the time he spent, only once
That is his
was his studio down.
His music, he produced my music.
We're not
here.
dealing with that. Studio. Remember, the production wasn't part of the agreement. The only agreement, $100 for 8 hours in the studio. It crashed. How many times? Because you're the one who said once first.
On
And
my
I said
left.
it only crashed once? Yeah, only once. Okay.
Plaintiff Benita Josie paid the defendant to use his studio, but she claims the studio was subpar and the equipment was outdated, so she wants her money back.
Go ahead, sir. What do you want to tell me? She says that you owe her a refund because the studio wasn't up to par at one particular time, that it crashed. And if it crashed, how long did it crash and what was the consequences?
So the girl is just a manipulator. She's she's making it sound like it's something it's not. It crashed a few months ago, like 2 months ago to be. It's like a month and a half ago to be exact. And it was on some free studio time I was giving her because I was trying to
You gave her more than 8 hours?
No, this time she was there for.
If you didn't give her more than 8 hours, you didn't give her any free studio time. She hired you for 8 hours. If you did 8 hours, there's nothing to debate. If you didn't do 8 hours, the question is why. She says it's because your system crashed. Why didn't you do 8 hours,
Sir,
or did you?
I gave over 8 hours. This is from
There
2015.
you go. He said he gave over 8 hours. That's not true?
That's not true.
How
Judge.
many do you think he gave, in your opinion?
I've paid him every single
No, how
session.
many did he give,
He
ma'am?
didn't give me any free hours.
He did not. No, hours, period. You seem to have a very hard time answering these questions.
No, because
how many total hours did you get
For
in the
each time I
studio?
paid him, I did
All right.
2-hour
So
blocks.
can I find out how many hours in
Total.
the studio did you get?
Okay, so Judge Mathis, we've been working together
Okay,
since
you can't tell me that.
2005.
That's a
I
very
can't.
simple
We've been
answer,
working
ma'am.
Since 2005,
All right,
so
your
I wanna know
counterclaim
from
is for what, sir?
What
My
time
I've given
counterclaim
you
is
every
for-
single opportunity, ma'am.
My counterclaim
Your
is for
counterclaim, you can't even
harassment.
tell me the numbers you
No, because from the
actually
time
used.
frame. The time
No,
frame,
the
sir.
8 hours, man. What
That
we're
was last
talking
summer.
about.
We worked this summer. We've worked this
Ma'am,
summer.
you don't know what we're talking about today? You don't know
Yes.
which agreement?
His 8 hours is
Ma'am,
from
do you
last
know
summer.
the agreement?
That is not
Do
the...
you know the agreement we're talking about?
Yes, I do,
Is
and
it
we're
the
not
8
speaking
hours?
of it here
Is
today.
it the 8
That's
hours?
Not, the 8
Is it
hours
the-
is not this agreement. That is
What
not what
was
I'm
the
here for
agreement,
today.
man?
I was here to let you hear the audio that sucked.
No, I don't
from
want to
Caesar
hear
Ray.
it. I don't want to hear
Okay?
it. I want you to answer my
I am
question.
here for the latest music I recorded,
No.
which was
Let me
this summer.
stop you
I've
again.
done about
Let me
7
stop.
hours
Your claim is
with Ray.
dismissed. You're being rude and disrespectful and
God.
contemptuous. I told you to be quiet. You've done nothing but give me misleading answers and incorrect answers. Could not tell me how many hours you did. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Bye.